All right, welcome back. We're at another episode here. So our duo had got themselves outfitted. They are still within the city of Graayfast. They had picked up a couple things of some adventuring gear. They needed, what was it, oil? They picked up oil, torches maybe, I can't remember. No, water skins, that's right. They needed some water skins. However, the new day is dawned. They spent the night in the Stroppy Bollock. They paid for their lodging, and they decided today's the day they're going to go and explore the Hex over. They're going over here to the village of Barnmouth, and that's this little hex here. They got information about the infinite tomb, so they're going to make their way and explore here. However, when I had rolled for the weather, this would be June 17th in the game world. As you can see, it's rainy. They're having a rainy day. So that's going to pose a problem because the distance they need to travel to get there, they're going to be camping outside. This is a 30-mile hex, all of these. So they're starting in the city. They're roughly around this area. So they're going to spend probably a good 20 miles or so just getting to the gate out of the city. And they're only going to be able to travel about 10 miles or so. And each of these squares is roughly about 5 miles. This is a whole 30-mile hex, and this is each little square is 5 miles. So at the furthest they're going to get is maybe the entry road to this quarry, which, you know, it might be inhabited, might keep them safe or something like that. Maybe they'll find a little outpost here they can spend the night at or something like that. Well, we'll see what we roll when we get here. Maybe it's inhabited there, maybe it's not. Either way, maybe I'm thinking we get these guys a tent in case they're stuck outside. If they're stuck outside, they got to camp in the wilderness in the rain. They are not going to have a long rest, and that could, if they run into encounters, that could pose a problem. So I think before we leave the city, we're going to stop in the shop. I forgot to name the shop, but they're going to go back to the shop they were in the last episode with their dwarf friend. I think it's within the area. They're going to go pick themselves up a tent that they can share. So we're just going to look at the player's handbook here. We're going to have a look for the adventuring gear. So let's see here. 222 is the adventuring gear. And we're going to just see what the cost of that will be from the little dwarf run shop that they were at. Boom, adventuring gear. So the tent is gonna, ooh, that's heavy. It's gonna be 20 pounds. We're gonna make the Goliath lady. She's got the Summer. She can carry more. She'll carry that sucker. 2 gold pieces. We will get, well, she's got the gold here, but this is Golly's expedition. So he's going to pay for the tent. She's going to carry it. So once again, we're taking 2 more gold off of Golly here. We're just going to... Oh, my pens are all dying. I got to have another one around here. All right, I got a fresh pen here. So again, we're going to take off 2 gold. So he purchased a what were we at, 16. Golly's paying for the tent. Sorcel's going to carry it. We're going to throw that to her little bag here, right? So now she's got 1 tent, and this thing weighs 20 pounds. Very heavy for a tent. What kind of a tent is 20 pounds? Right? That's pretty crazy. So her total carry weight now is up to 110, but she can carry 480 pounds. She's got that giant strength within her, so that's pretty good. She's going to be carrying a lot of the loot for us too. Hopefully we can get some. So they purchased a tent, and they're ready to go. let's say they got to travel from here across this hex now. They're leaving. They're in the rain. They're a little miserable. I'm going to actually maybe they travel a little slower, right? Because it's the rain. They're not going to be hiking super quick. Let's have a look at travel speeds here in these rules and find out if maybe they incur some kind of a penalty for traveling here. Oh, this might be in the Dungeon Master's Guide. Hold on, we'll have a look. So, a couple of rules to follow here. They're traveling on foot, which means they can only travel, if they're going at a normal speed, they can go 24 miles per day. So they can't even travel a full hex in one day. However, there is a rule in the Dungeon Master's Guide here saying with the presence of good roads, it increases the group's maximum pace by 1 step. So they can go from slow to normal or from normal to fast. So they would, on a good road, they could travel 30 miles, right? But I'm going to say when it's rainy, they're going to incur a penalty that drops them down 1, right? So normally they'd be traveling 24 miles. They'd get the boost with the good road to bump them up to fast. But it's raining, so they're right back down to 24 miles again. They're going to travel slow. So realistically, I think they're just going to be able to cross the city maybe in a day. At most, they can get outside of our into this first little hex here, right by the marshland, right? But they could get right outside the gate. But, you know, why would they? How long is this distance here? If they start outside the gate, they go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Okay, they might not still make it to this village in the next day. Maybe they got to start their journey. Like, to me, I'd be thinking maybe they want to stay in the inn one more time and then they can travel fast the next day. But, I mean, we did purchase the tent. Maybe we just do a little camp right outside here, right? We do the 24-mile cut across here and camp just outside here. That would take us, what, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Okay, well, they're in the city then. That's going to be my rule. They just cross the city. They get to the inn. Now, we're going to have to run those encounter rules again of being in an urban environment to, what is this? To generate our roles here. Hold on. This is the solo Dungeon Master's Guide. There is a thing to find the encounters again. I just gotta have a look. Urban encounters. So it would be up here to determine your encounter number of encounters you have. Hold on, I gotta stop the camera again just to search through this thing. This is a lot of solo gaming. Okay, here we go. I found it. The table to determine the number of urban encounters. We are in the city. You could say it's a metropolis, right? And it's daytime. They're traveling in the day, so we're going to do 8 to 10 rolls of the D100 to see if we have any encounters as we are crossing across this hex to get to where we need to go. So, first check, D100. Anything below a 25 is a encounter, I believe it is. So there's our first check. Second check, nothing. Third check, nothing. Fourth check, nothing. Fifth check, 62, nothing. Okay, we're going to do sixth check. 65, nothing. Seventh check, and 18. Okay, so I'm just going to make a little note off to the side. Our seventh, we've done 7 checks, and we have an encounter, right? So pretty far. They kind of cut across the city. They're almost making it to the end of this little hex here. But then they had an encounter. So we're going to come on down to the urban encounters again. Here we go, number 5. Chapter 5, Urban Encounters. So once again, we're rolling this D100. We got a 78. So let's see what the group encounters as they're trying to cross the city and get to where they need to go. Oh, I overscrolled there. 78. You pass a house which is all boarded up, the gates locked. A passerby informs you that this is the house of a local nobleman who hasn't been seen in years. Okay, so that's just like the potential for a quest right there. But our guys, they have their own quest and whatnot, right? We'll just clock this in the back of our heads, like, okay, a noble's been missing, it's boarded up. I don't know, maybe he was the mark of an assassination in this, maybe a criminal underworld got him or something like that. We're just going to clock that to the back of our mind. We don't need to inquire about that any further. We're on a mission. We're trying to get to the burrows. So this one we kind of got away with, right? So let's do 3 more checks, I believe. We're on the 8th check. An 18 again. Okay. So right to it. We have another check. So we did 8 checks. I think we still got 2 more after. So kind of a busy street over here. We are a bit in the nobles and the slums. Maybe there's some warring going on, right? Let's do another. Let's get these rolling a little more. Oh, there's one. 74. 70. Oh, good. Okay, we're having a battle, I think. Monster, level appropriate hard encounter. There's a monster on the loose, marauding through the streets. Okay, let's check out. We're right to a battle, right off the hop here. So I'm going to check out the, we need to find a monster, right? Level appropriate hard encounters. So we're going to come here, monster encounters for the solo PC. There's encounter tables. We're going to go to the 2 PC conversion table. Boom. Now here we go. So using this table and the encounter tables that follow, you can create a balanced encounters for your deadly duo of adventurers. So we're 2 PCs and we're both level 1. So we need to find a hard, right? So to determine this encounter, 2 PCs with a level 1 of hard, you're going to use this encounter table. It's the 1 PC level 2 hard. So we're going to scroll down to the level 1 solo. We're coming down here to the hard. Or sorry, no, I misread that. 2 PCs level 1 hard is a 1 PC level 2 hard. So level 2 solo. We're coming down to the hard encounter. We're going to roll a d6 on this guy. Boom, a 2. So 1 to 2 is 1 challenge rating of a half monster. So we're going to remember that. We need the half, 1 half challenge rating monster. And then next thing we're going to do is we're going to come down to these tables again. Let's see here. I believe it's in the creature tables by environment, the challenge rating. And we want to come down to the urban. And we need the table for the half, right? The 1 half. I'll keep getting out of frame here. 1 half urban. We need a D8. Here's our D8. We rolled a 7. So they just encountered a thug. Okay. Now, when I looked through the monster manual before for the looters from the previous battle, there was no thugs, so I just used the bandits. And now I got to use the bandit again. That's what they have encountered for the hard, which to me seems kind of easy for these 2 guys because they kind of dispatched that one pretty, like they did 2. They got one of them to run away before. So maybe that's that guy who ran away. And he's like that bandit from the last episode that was a Golly cast that command spell on that looter, and he ran away out of the combat. Maybe this is him. He sees them again, and he's like, "You freaking, you dirty sons of bitches! I'm gonna kill you!" And he comes and attacks. Right? Well, would he? He's outnumbered. He saw his partner get kind of one swiped there, so maybe we roll on a d6 to see what he does. So 1 to 2, he's going to be violent. He's going to attack. I think 3 and 4, he will be neutral. And then 5 and 6, he's just, maybe he's got some kind of a deal he's trying to work out with them. We rolled a 2. No, he's upset. He just wants to fight, and he's probably going to get steamrolled here, to be honest. So let's see. Let's roll some initiative. So really, I can just use this the same little quick battle map we made before, to kind of run this same simulation. So let's see what the bandit, he's got a +1 to his initiative. He rolls a 15, +1 is 16. Golly had the -1 to his initiative. Ooh, he rolled a 20. So a 19. Golly's going to get to go first. And then, of course, Summer. And Summer she has a +2 to initiative, so she gets the 20. She's swinging first. So there's a good chance she's just going to run up and just freaking swipe this guy. Maybe we just do a really quick, like before I even place guys down here where they are. Or actually, sorry, let's look at encounter distances. Oops, sorry, bumping the camera. So whenever you have an encounter, we have our initiatives and whatnot, but let's look at the encounter distance in the Dungeon Master Guide, right? So whenever there's an encounter, the encounter distance is going to be 2d6 times 10 feet. So they are, oop, that bounced off the, so 1 plus 4. So they are 5 times 10. They're 50 feet apart. Boom. 50 feet. So Sorcel can only move 35 feet. She can't run up and get this this great axe swing off. What she can do is shoot the old short bow and see if she can get a shot off on him there. So let's just do a quick little, I guess, let's say this bandit, he's up here, B for bandit, and then 50 feet away, right? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Summer is right here. Golly can kind of be right beside her. So this is the little distance. Let's have a look at her distance here for the short bow. Short bow range, she's good for 80. She does have a range of 320 with a disadvantage, but we're good for 80 right here, right? She's got 20 arrows. Maybe she launches an arrow at this guy. What other moves can she do? I don't know if she wants to rage just yet. Might not be called for it. She kind of remembers winning against this guy before. Let's have her shoot her bow. Oh my goodness. That's just going to miss. And she only gets the 1 attack, so she misses. That's her first move. All right, but she's a little worried about Golly here, so she's paid to protect him. She's going to run up now the 35 feet. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. She's going all the way up here, right? Oh, I already forgot. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So Summer's going to go right here just to kind of protect Golly there, right? Golly's got the next move. And he's maybe, what kind of spells does he have? Can he cast a cantrip? Let's have him do the toll the dead cantrip. So let's bust open our paper here, our book, 334. 334 for this spell. I gotta make some cheat sheets for these guys so that it's a little bit easier to flip through all these books. 334, Toll the Dead. Range is 60 feet. You point at one creature you can see within range. Can he see this stuff going on here? Should be able to, right? Or maybe he needs to come up and get within range, you know, come up to like here or something like that. He moves up so he can see a little better. And then he's gonna point at the creature he can see within range, and a single chime of a dolorous bell is audible within 10 feet of the target. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or take 1d8. So wisdom saving throw, here's his wisdom saving throw is a 15. Our spell save DC is a 13. Oh, we missed this spell. Okay, well, both of our attacks were duds. This guy, he's a little savvy. He knows, he's battled us before. He knows our moves now, right? So now the bandit's he's gonna come on down and he's gonna take a swing. He's gonna come down here. So let's scratch these things out. He's gonna take a swing at Summer now. He's upset. You know, you killed my friend, and I want to get some revenge here. So he's got a melee attack roll +3 with a scimitar, however you say that. Let's see, his attack is a 7 +3 is a 10 against the AC of Summer here, which is a 14. So his attack misses. Everyone's just, you know, it's rainy. Their hands are slipping all over their weapons. They're not doing too good, right? Everyone's slipping and sliding. Maybe it's muddy in the streets. That was round one. Just a lot of misses. People swinging and missing. So we're coming back up to Summer. Now Summer is within range. According to, like, I think these rules for the weapons, I think you can just equip and unequip just like on the fly. You don't got to take an action to switch from your melee and your ranged and all that stuff. It just kind of happens. Let's see, let's just double check this here. 25. Determined, let's see. Reading the rules here. Melee attacks, target within reach. Because I'm pretty sure you can just juggle. There's nothing about equipping and unequipping anymore. I tell you what, we're just going to say she can swing with this axe. And if you know the rule a little bit better than me, you can look in to the rules and let me know. But for now, I just want to keep this going. It's late where I'm at, and I'm eager to get back to bed, but I want to get these guys on the road as well. So she's going to swing with her great axe here. Oh my goodness, she misses again. Or the AC is 12, so she's got a 4 plus the 5 is a 9. So she's missing on this swing. And that'll be the end of her turn. And then let's just have Golly say, hey, we're going to try that cantrip again. Someone's got to make a shot eventually, right? Spell save DC. Oh, a 1, look at that. Now, on a 1, when you roll the 1, what's the critical failure? So that was to beat the spell save DC for the bandit, but he didn't do it. So the bandit's taking the damage, but I want to say it's a critical hit, right? Or a critical hit is a nat 20. Let's come to page 27 here, and what does this tell us about it? Damage rolls. When you score a critical hit, you deal extra damage. Roll the damage attack twice. Add them together. Add any relevant amount if you score a critical hit. Okay, so that's just on a 20. Okay, so we don't... Yeah, they just miss then. The nat 1 thing, I don't know where that comes from. A nat 20, you get something crazy, right? You get all the boosts and everything like that, but I'm not seeing anything here for the nat 1. Just a critical hit. Again, you know, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but it's just, let's just get his spell off, right? So what was it? The 1d8, I believe it was, for the necrotic damage. 334. Should have just kept a page open to it. Is there anything else he gets with that? The target must exceed 1d8 necrotic damage. If the target is missing any of its hit points, it instead takes 1d12 necrotic damage. So on the next time he takes a hit from this thing, he's gonna be howling, right? So it might be Golly's turn to. Oh no, I need my d8. Lost my d8. So here we go. Here's the necrotic damage. Ooh, max damage. Look at that. So he deals an 8 to this bandit. And the bandit only has 11 hit points. So he's right down to his nitty grits. So what's he at? 8. He's down to 3. He's got 3 HP left. Now, that would be Golly's turn. So now the bandit. It's his turn again. Summer missed both her swings. She's got a slippery axe handle. Now he's below 50% of his hit points here. So we're going to do a morale check for him to see if he tries to run. You know, maybe he's like, oh crap, I'm in over my head. What am I doing? So again, we're going to say on a 1 and 2, he just stays and fights. And then anything above that, he's going to run away because he's outnumbered 2 to 1 and he's below 50%. So, oh, okay, you've rolled a 2. You've seen that. Oh, he declared it, right? On a 1 and 2, he's aggressive. He stays to fight. He's going to go out on his shield. Maybe the only friend he's ever had in this city was that guy that they disposed of. So our people might be the evil guys here, right? Maybe Golly's kind of in the background being like, okay, hold on, like, just, you know, it doesn't have to be this way, right? And the bandit says, to hell with you, and rolls a 17. That's going to hit Summer. He's still swinging at Summer, right? He's upset with her. So his attack here is a 1d6 plus 1 slashing damage. Oh, he rolled terribly. 1 plus 1. So he does 2 points of damage to Summer here. And had we been raging, we would have had resistance to that slashing. But as it is, she just takes 2 points of damage. Nothing too crazy here. Ooh, I'll write down in her health points. She can take a little short rest, you know. She'll bounce back. And that's his move. Does he try to get away? Does he try to pivot? Does he stay where he is, or he's just, let's just have him stay here and swing? Whatever. Summer's she's gonna do a little something. She's gonna swing her axe again with an 11 plus 5, 16, AC at 12. He's a goner, right? We're gonna roll that D12 anyway, see how much he's a goner. Okay, so a 3. That's exactly what he has, but you'd add the plus 3. It does 6 points of damage. We've vanquished ourselves another bandit. Now, we're going to add 25. We get, according to this, they get 25 experience points for that, but you divide that by 2 for the both of them. So we're going to give them each, we'll give them like, what, 14 or 12, sorry. We'll give them 12. We'll round down. Or should we round up? Let's round up. Let's be nice here. So we'll give him 13. So give him 30. We'll give him 38. So we're slowly climbing, right? They've vanquished. We're kind of double dipping on that. I know we gave them the experience points for making them flee. And now we're, you know, getting the same. Beating the same guy, but this time for real. Now, this is, they defeated a man in the street, I guess. We can declare maybe that, should we roll that damage twice? Yeah, so she's a savage attacker. So what we're going to do maybe is we're going to roll that damage the second time. And we get to use either or. We'll use the 1 plus the 3. It'll take it down to 4. So it would take him to like -1 health points. But then I think maybe that just is going to knock that bandit unconscious. We'll declare that so that we don't commit a crime in the town here, right? Maybe Golly told Summer, don't kill this guy, right? Let's not get, let's not have a crime happen to us here. Let's ask, are there guards nearby? Yes, there's guards nearby. So they might have witnessed that, right? Let's see, like, were they upset, or did they see what was going on? And they're kind of, okay, they didn't see what was going on. They just kind of maybe look over after the battle's done and they're like, what the hell? There's a guy laying on the ground there. What happened over here? They come and question us about what had happened. So let's see who's got the higher charisma. Summer does not. What am I looking for? Persuasion? Let's do a persuasion maybe to these guards, saying like, hey, this guy attacked us, we're just minding our own business, right? He is trying to tell the truth, but he's trying to persuade these guys. These guards didn't see what happened, and they're just like, you just knocked this guy out. Boom. So a 14 plus 3 is a 17. They persuade these guards like, hey, this guy came at us. He's been, he was one of the looters. We've seen him do crazy stuff in the past here. And he came and attacked us. And the guards, they believe him. All right. So now they're taking this bandit, this unconscious bandit. They're taking him to the clinker, right? So our guys, they're off the hook. They didn't commit a crime. They can carry on their way. Now, that was our 8th check. We will get some treasure, I guess, from the bandits. I'm gonna try this roll here. I know we have like the treasure roll from the Dungeon Master's Guide, but there's also treasure rolls from this, and I want to show you guys what these are. The loot tables. So the individual loot tables for crit monsters of 1/8 to 12. So we had a half, right? Individual treasure table. Oh no, this bandit is only an 1/8. We need a half monster. I gave myself way too easy of an encounter here. I thought these guys were 1/2 because it said the thug. But in all reality, we needed a different kind of a fight. Well, whatever. We're going to make this canon now. I just cheated the system. I gave myself an easier fight. So, hey, what are you going to do? Sue me. We're going to get less treasure, probably, is what it's going to be now, right? So let's go to the 1/8 individual treasure instead, and let's roll the d6 on this and see what we get. So we rolled a 4. We get 4 d6 silver pieces, right? Which I think before, when we were using the other table for this, we ended up getting like gold pieces. So that's what we get. 4 d6 silver pieces we're going to get from this. So we're going to get a 4, 5, 11, and 16 silver pieces. Let's say old Golly's a chaos. He's a good man. He's not going to take it. Sorcel's going to take this. These silver pieces. She's just racking up dough. This lady. Should she try slip it into his pocket? just to be like, hey, you know, you gotta take something where you can get it, right? A 5, 6, 7. No, she does not pass this. Trying to slip some money. Golly says, I will not take that coin. That's dirty coin. You know, I'm gonna earn my coin the right way. So she's just gonna keep that 16 gold pieces and move along. So there's our 8th check, combat. Now we got 2 more checks, and then what they're gonna do is they're gonna be on to the end of this hex. They're gonna look for an inn over here, and then spend the night within the city. It is, even though we bought that tent, but that tent will come in handy later, right? If it's ever raining in the future. So 9th check is nothing. 1 more encounter. Oh, being in this city is just too many encounters. It's a little brutal. I thought the wilderness was going to be bad. So urban encounters, what do they encounter? An 84. I think we rolled that before, not long ago. Or was that a 74? 84. A shopkeeper is attacking a wasp nest outside of his shop with a broom. He dislodges it and it crashes to the ground, engulfing him in a swarm of insects. Do we help this shopkeeper before we take off, right? Maybe we help this shopkeeper. And they could potentially get a little discount at his shop, right? So what do you think we would need to do to get rid of these bees? Golly's got a +3 to animal handling. Or sorry, for wasps. Could he do something with that? Can he cast spells on them? Command the wasps away? Use up a spell slot? Because they are going to be... they spent the night. He's got his spell slot back. Maybe he issues a command on these wasps. Does that work? Or do we do an animal handling check? How do you do an animal handling check on some wasps, right? Let's fudge these dice a little bit. So let's say on a 15 and up, he somehow manages to animal handle a bunch of wasps that the shopkeeper's dealing with. It worked, okay. So he manages to get rid of these wasps, and the shopkeeper maybe he's happy about it, right? Let's see. Does he give them a discount for helping him out? No, he's cheap. He doesn't want to do that. Does he? Maybe he offers them free room for the night. He hears that they're looking for a place to stay. Does he offer them a room at his place? A 9. No, he does not. Okay, does he point him in the direction of an inn at the very least? No, he doesn't. This guy's a prick, man. We shouldn't have helped this guy. All right, well, you're welcome for the wasps, Mr. Shopkeep. And we're taking off now. I guess we're going to see, do they find an inn, right? So that's where we got to whip up the checks here one more time for the chances of finding an inn, which would be camping and arriving in settlements. There was a table for all this stuff, right? Unmarked settlement, arriving in settlements, rumor location table, tavern table. No, what about arriving in settlements? There's got to be a way to check the old. Hold on, I'm going to pause this video. We're going to find it. Here we go. I found our table, right? The DC for occurrence of merchants or institutions based on the settlement size. So finding an inn or a tavern in the metropolis is a 1. So they traveled across the city, had all their little encounters. Do they find the inn? They, of course, do. We got a new shopkeep here. Now what we're going to do is check out the quality of the merchant or the inn. So the inn is going to be, let's find another tavern, right? So in the metropolis, roll a d20 to find the quality. So they find a really nice one. Excellent, right? So they might be in the noble quarter. They might be crossed over here and they found like a really fancy inn. Let's find out the tavern name. So the tavern that they discovered is the Greasy Anvil. Okay, the Greasy Anvil is a popular hipster spot in the noble quarter, and they're going to spend the night there. And I can add that to the inns and the taverns here, right? I can almost map the grid out, and then we know the Stroppy Bollock is on this side, and then the Greasy Anvil is on this side. Now, for the price of this, we're going in the player's handbook into the services page. Now, we rolled the 20, right? And it let us know this is an excellent inn. So it's going to be like either it's going to be wealthy, the 2 gold pieces a night, or it might be aristocratic, right? 4 gold pieces a night. We could, like, this is kind of like the noble, wealthy district. So we'll charge ourselves 2 gold pieces. If we're ever like kind of staying up in here and we got to pay for lodging, maybe we do the 4 gold pieces. But for this, to get get the room, we're gonna get 2 gold pieces for the night per person. I guess that would be. So they're each gonna take. Maybe is Summer feeling generous? A 13. Normally I do 15, but let's say she's feeling generous. Let's take some of her gold out of this. She's feeling a little bad that, they be paid for the tent or they're not even going to use it because they got into a little kerfuffle in the city. She'll pay for the lodging tonight. So we'll take her down to 30 gold pieces. She's feeling nice. They can get a nice room, have a nice bite to eat. And that's going to be the end of their day, of that rainy day they were having, right? They had a little battle in the rain with that thug who wanted revenge. Kind of closed a loop there. And in that process, we get to cross off another day on our map. Look at that. Oh, that's in July. Look at that. They're all done. Now, they'll venture out tomorrow, and it looks like the next 3 days are going to be overcast, so at least they can kind of travel normal and stuff like that. They don't got to worry about, they have their tent now, so they're not too worried about sleeping outside in the rain and whatnot. But they don't know that. The characters don't know what it's going to be like tomorrow, I guess, but we kind of do, right? So, here we go. We're at the end of this hex. We're going into Barnmouth on the next day. We found out another inn. I gotta name that shop still that they went and shopped at, that the other dwarf had, so we can kind of flush out the lore a little bit. And then maybe I can redo this hex in the future for like where things are, number them or something like that. But yeah, what was it? Golly came in here and they spent a day kind of going around and shopping, having the battle with the looters and the earthquake. Then they ripped up here, had that battle with that other bandit thug who ran away this way, and now they're spending a night in the Greasy Tavern. They helped out a guy with a wasp problem, and out of the goodness of their hearts, and now they'll be primed to leave this gate in the morning and get a full day's travel into the hex over yonder, right? And it looks like they might not get there if we count this hex, right? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. They could travel fast, is what they can do on the road, and they could make it there in a day. and then hopefully they don't run into anything crazy along the way. But for right now, they're going to have a good old sleep in the inn, and we'll return to this later on.